Hey guys, how y'all doing? Hope you're having a good time. I'm not doing bad. I got my steering column pretty well set at home. It's looks like a mess, you know. Whatever. I'm not going for looks. Angle iron, all thread, you know, and everything bolts in. You know, you can unbolt everything. It's not just all welded together. Then I have another brace coming off of the body here. And, you know, at first, to go around the column, I was thinking of this and that, gonna make a thing, gonna something. And I found an exhaust clamp. It was just right for, you know, 70s square body Chevy steering column. And I got this telescoping joint thing here and piece of black iron pipe going to the U joint, you know, to the steering box. And I got my wheel. I think it was for a Model T. And it was like, when I got it, it was a locking wheel. And you'd lock it and the wheel would just spin uselessly on the hub. You know, you couldn't steer it if this was locked. And that lock was screwed up. And that's kind of why I bought it, so I could, like, you know, no guilt and just clobber my frickin' Chevy hub in there. And, you know, it has initials in there on the wood. You know, I'll never know who these people were. Yeah, that was me there. The wheel was kind of, it's in two halves, you know, and it was coming apart, so I split it, and I twisted the wrong way right there, but, you know, I re-glued it, a whole bunch of clamps, and clamped it all together. I just really like the history behind this wheel, even though I'll never know it, but it seems to me like a whole bunch of people probably learned to drive on the old Model T that was sitting in behind the barn or something. There it goes. All right. So, I only sort of got one problem with this setup, and that's right here. Oh, God, I need to lose about 50 pounds, but it's not too bad, you know. Here, come on in here, and, oh, pardon me. I can steer. All right, here I am on the wheel, you know. I can clutch. I can brake. So, the steering column's sitting in there kind of crooked, and I did a little bit to sort of make that a little better, but you know, it's all right. It's okay. I can get full turns on the wheel. Yeah, be a lot better when it's moving. And I still got to get a nut on this wheel. I've seen hubs for sale for quick disconnect steering wheels, but I don't know. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. It's a little tight to get in and out. All right. Yeah, that's that. I can steer it and I can clutch it. So now I'm trying to think what next. Let me see. I got an accelerator pedal right here. I don't know if I'll use that or not. The body is a little sprung. I don't know. There's 4 ports coming off of this master cylinder. I don't know if I remember if I said, but that's that master cylinder is off a Volkswagen Rabbit. I had it around and it was really close to, you know, so I made it work. I at least made it bolt up to that. And for what I'm doing, it should provide adequate braking. But now I'm not sure what next. Do I go for some kind of a floor, or maybe run brake lines while all this is open? I'm gonna plug probably the 2 passenger side ports on that and just use these 2 driver side ports over here. I might have to notch this little channel out a little bit to get some line. I don't know, I might be able to sneak it through back into there. Maybe. We'll see what happens there. I'm kind of thinking brake lines next would be good. And then, I don't know, you know, I'm going to have some sort of accelerator pedal. I don't know, we'll figure that out when I get there, I guess. I'm just kind of, what's next, and can't really think of what's next. Is it floor? Is it brake lines? I think brake lines would be nicer to do while the floor's all open. But I also kind of, I don't know, maybe kind of want to lay a floor over it and make sure that I can get into the brake lines. If I can run all the brake lines with the floor in, you know, I should have no problem if I need to work on something in the future, which I don't know how long this thing is even going to hold together. You know, it might make it one trip up and down the little dirt road here, and then something comes apart. Who knows? God only knows. There's a lot of amateur welding on there. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know. You know. Anyhow, enough of that for now. I am still arguing with this thing. This is a 92 Volkswagen Jetta. Has the 2-liter 16 valve engine, 5-speed manual, station wagon, and it's running really rich. And when you go to like 0 throttle or very light throttle to you know, a little more throttle, when you're transitioning, it starts kind of skipping and stumbling a little bit, and that's when it's cold. Doodly doo. Yeah, that's when it's cold. When it warms up, it gets really carrying on. When you give it more throttle, it kind of straightens out. Is this a... So, I've been given a couple of things to check out. One is a sort of a plunger underneath this fuel distributor. You know, they say to hot wire the fuel pump, and you're going to take this fuel distributor off of the airbox, and you're going to look underneath and watch for fuel dripping out around that rod. And I guess you want to have that rod retained somehow while you do this, because there's going to be some pretty good pressure in there. Another one is this here, this little canister looking guy, which is called your differential fuel pressure regulator, I suppose. And that could be malfunctioning. This here, this is strange, because I look up differential fuel pressure regulator, and I'll see this, and I'll see this. So I don't know which one is which. Maybe they both are. I don't know. I've checked this for continuity and resistance, and it you know, that seems in spec. I still don't know if it's doing its thing or not. But what I am planning to do here, you got a little vacuum line right here. I'm going to take this vacuum line off and run the engine and see if I get gasoline coming out of this little nipple right here. I'm going to plug that vacuum line, of course. It does look a little crappy. And I guess I'll also see if with this thing disconnected, does it do anything different. I'd really like to have this thing back. As it is, it runs, but you don't want to run it because it's running super freaking rich. It's gonna wash out your cylinder walls or whatever. It's gonna do bad things if it hasn't already. I kind of run it down to the bottom of the hill to pick up my kids from the bus, just to keep it so it's running, because I don't know what to do. I don't want to completely leave it set, because that's really, they go to hell when you leave them set, you know. So I want to kind of keep it running. I went as far as I can go in the Bentley manual with this thing, and I've been going above my head with this thing. Getting into stuff that I just normally don't ever get into. So yeah, I'm gonna put the camera down because I don't have anywhere to set it properly. But tell you what, I will start it up. Let me hook this line back up one-handed. That's got it. All right. I did go over it for vacuum leaks. You know, had the engine running, spraying ether all over, and you know, I can't get any vacuum leaks. I made a homemade kind of smoke test machine, you know, and that didn't show anything either. So I figure between the two of them, I figure I don't have any vacuum leaks. I don't know, man. This thing, I'd love to swap it for a Mark II. You know, Golf or Jetta or earlier. One of those I can work on all day. You know, it could be a project. As long as it's got a pretty good body on it, I can handle the rest. This thing, I do not like working on this thing. It's so convoluted and complicated. And this is a freaking antique already. And I'm already lost, you know. But I don't like it. It's no fun. The older Volkswagens, the 1.8s, the diesels, you know, the old Rabbit diesels and Mark II Golf diesels, they were nice. They were simple, and you could have some fun while you were working on it. This thing just isn't any fun at all. I don't like it. Even if I get it running, even if I get it running right, I still want rid of it. I don't like this thing. Nice car to drive, not a nice car to work on. Let me start it up for you, and you should be able to, I don't know if you'll be able to see because it's kind of cold out. So there might be, you know, like moisture coming out of the exhaust as well as the fuel. But we'll give it a try, right? And it's like 30 degrees out, maybe 35. It starts up nice. I don't know if you heard that tiny little stumble there. Do it again. No. I'll set the camera back by the exhaust and you'll be able to see. Okay. Got her. It is running rich. It smells raw fuel, man. It's dumping somewhere. I don't know. Let me see if I can do something dumb, because it's right. Oh boy, no, that line's right next to the alternator. I'm gonna pull that line. I'm gonna shut it off, pull that line, and plug that line, and see, because there's fuel that runs through this canister thing, and the vacuum kind of does, I don't know, but if there's a diaphragm that's shot in there and there's fuel leaking from one end to the other, it'll start sucking fuel. So I'm gonna pull that line, shut the engine off, pull that line, I'm gonna plug that line, see if it runs any different, and see if I got fuel maybe dripping out of that little nipple there. I'll be right back. Okay, I got one of those poor tips from a, you know, engine treatments or 90 weight gear oil, you know, and it doesn't have the end cut off, so I made a nice little plug for that line. Now let's see, will it start? Starts. Still running pretty rich. I think it idles a bit lower. Yeah. Maybe it was idling high from warming up. And, hard for you to see, but I don't see any gasoline coming out of that nipple. I mean, that don't mean that this little canister is doing its job, but now there's a whole bunch of I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know. So, yeah, I'm actually gonna have to get some outside help with this one. There's a guy not too far from here, and he's one of the old heads that's familiar with this stupid system. I mean, when this, it's called a CISE, and when it came out on like Rabbits and Sirocco and Jetta, whatever, you know, it was pretty goddamn cutting edge. You had good economy and you had good power, you know, and but I don't know, man. I'm not. The problem here is this is a CISE, which stands for electronic, but it's still mostly mechanical. Like, I have the gear to hook up to the onboard diagnostic, such as it is with this thing. It's pathetic. It gives you a couple parameters, you know, engine temperature, RPM. It says vehicle speed, but I don't know if that'll do or not, because when I had it hooked up, I had it hooked to a laptop, and there's a extension cord running because the battery shot on the laptop. It doesn't give you a lot, you know, like a real OSB or OBD system gives you so many live streaming parameters. This gives you like 5. So if you want to check something electronically on this thing, for the most part, you're, I guess, you know, breaking out your meter, back probing things, you're doing things the hard way. The guy I talked to, you know, and asking questions on forums and Facebook groups and this and that, is leading me to believe that there's something mechanical going on with that fuel distributor. And the guy who I talked to, the old head, he said, get it over there, he'll diagnose it for $100. You know, and that's more than fair to me. If I could at least have somebody that knows that frickin' system, and he can tell me what to do, because I'm really lost on that thing. That one, you know, ain't so bad. This thing is bare bones simple. The old Scout, simple. Our Chevy pickup over there, real simple. The Bronco, you know, it's not terrible to work on. Thing is, we're down to the Bronco and that pickup over there as our only road legal vehicles. The pickup gets about 8 miles to the gallon. It's not bad to drive, but it's not something you want to drive regularly, especially with the it sucks fuel, because it's, you know, the Bronco, that's EFI, but it only gets like 12 or 14 maybe, you know, I don't see the big difference over a carburetor with that. But yeah, I'd like to have this back, because that got like, I forget, like 27 miles to the gallon. And that's a lot more fun to drive. Besides the fueling issue, that is a nice ride. We've been doing our best to take care of it. Geez, well, I guess that's one thing. That's one more thing that I don't know about that. I'm at the point where I'd like to use some dynamite. I don't know. I heard about guys swapping these over to motorcycle carburetors, and there's a company called Boggs Brothers in England, and they supply everything, but it's like $1,200. I've seen videos of guys installing the kit. I've seen videos of the engines running. I saw one video of one of the cars with this swap going down the street, but it wasn't right. I've never seen videos of them actually running and driving and performing properly. So I don't know, man. I would love, if there were a conversion that I could do on that for like a little single barrel Rochester carburetor on that, absolutely I would, in a New York minute. If I could figure out some way to do it without chopping a hole in the hood, because I don't want to do that. But even after that, say you carburate it and it's running, that ignition distributor is electronically controlled. So I don't know what would happen, how much feedback does that CIS system give to the ECU, which then relays crap to the ignition distributor, telling it when to advance and retard. I guess there's a company that makes a mechanically operated ignition distributor for that, but that's more money. I don't like 4 carburetors, and that's what people are swapping to. It's 4 carburetors ganged up, you know, off of a 4-cylinder motorcycle. Boggs Brothers, apparently, they will supply carbs with their $1,200 kit, and they're pretty much dialed in to run once you bolt them out. You know, a little bit of tweaking. Still, I don't like 4 carburetors. I'd like just one simple carburetor. Or I'd like to make it work with what's there originally. I don't like that CISE system. It's messy. It takes up a lot of room. But if I could make it work, that'd be cool. There are fuel distributor rebuild kits available for that. But I don't know that the fuel distributor has failed. I don't know. Holy crap, this has gone on way long enough. All right, so, yeah, take care, guys, and thanks for watching. Send me your prayers and good vibrations. We'll get there one day at a time, right?